Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep. All night, every night. The Tempur-Pedic Summer of Sleep starts now with all Tempur-Pedic mattresses on sale and savings up to $500 on adjustable sets. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. During our Memorial Day sale, save $1,000 on the new Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed, Queen, now $17.99, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Hey guys, it's Allie. Welcome back to Infertile AF, the podcast. This is episode 116 called Missi. On this episode, I'm partnering with Pacific Fertility Center, which is located in the San Francisco Bay Area and has been serving patients for more than 20 years. At Pacific Fertility Center, they believe that everyone has the right to create their family their way. They've welcomed more than 11,000 babies through IVF, IUI, and egg donation, and they now have an office in Marin County. Check out their Instagram at Pacific Fertility Center, email them at info@pacificfertility.com, or call them at 415-834-3000 to get started and book your initial consultation today. Again, that's at Pacific Fertility Center on IG. Email is info@pacificfertility.com, and the number is 415-834-3000. Thanks, PFC. Today's episode is sponsored by Prove, the first and only FDA-cleared test to confirm successful ovulation at home. Prove works by tracking PDG, a progesterone metabolite, after ovulation to confirm ovulation and provide important information around ovulation quality. Problems with ovulation are a leading cause of infertility, and with Prove, you can figure out if you are ovulating well right from your own home. And if you're not, you can then take steps to fix the issue. The critical information can change the game when it comes to trying to conceive. Prove was invented by Amy Beckley, a PhD scientist and infertility warrior whose journey lasted 3 long years and included 7 miscarriages. She suspected she was having trouble ovulating properly in her own journey, and lo and behold, she was right. She got a progesterone supplement to help and successfully conceived just a couple of cycles later. Her progesterone miracle is now 7 years old. You know I love female-founded companies, guys, and you know I love products that can truly help you on this awful infertility road. So check out Prove. The best part is that they're giving Infertile AF listeners a special discount code. Go to provetest.com, PROOVTEST.com, enter the code ALLIE25, and you'll get 25% off their PDG test kits. Thanks, Prove. Okay, guys, I want to tell you about Rescripted, which is taking back the narrative on all things fertility and burning the word normal when it comes to what a family is and how one comes to be. With med management tools, expert resources for the 1 in 8, and a free infertility support community, they're rescripting fertility together. Their tech-enabled hub for fertility patients is launching in July 2021. So head to fertility.rescripted.com and sign up for updates today. Okay, guys, welcome to season 4. I'm so thrilled to kick off this season with more incredible stories, more incredible people, more inclusion, more diversity, and all the things. Thank you so much to everybody for listening these past 4 seasons, for sharing these episodes with their friends and their loved ones, for sending me notes that make me cry. You guys are truly the best. Today, I'm talking to a phenomenal woman who I'm sure tons of you will recognize from her various TV and movie roles. Her name is Missi Pyle, and she has appeared in such movies as Dodgeball, Galaxy Quest, Big Fish, 50 First Dates, Anchorman, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Artist, and one of my all-time favorites, Gone Girl. Her list of TV credits is absolutely insane as well, including roles on Friends, Frasier, 2.5 Men, My Name is Earl, Grey's Anatomy, Family Guy, Mom, and most recently, Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson. So Missi has quite a story about how she ended up as the mother to our now 5.5-year-old daughter. And we are going to get into all of it, including having a bear as the best man in her wedding, her 3 devastating miscarriages, finding herself $35,000 in debt, living in Montana and not working very much as an actor at one point, her pregnancy number 4 at age 42, and the call she got from an adoption agency that changed everything. So it's an amazing story. I'm so happy to have her on the show. Missi, you are 1 in a million. Thank you for doing this. Thank you guys for listening. And without further ado, this is Missi's infertility story. Missi, thank you so much for doing this today.
Thanks, Allison. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So let's just start at the beginning with you. Did you always want to have kids?
So, I came from 5 children and my dad was, a family of 5 kids.
Okay.
And I was the last. I was like, I don't know. And I was on the phone with my manager told me about her friend who was a medium. And she was like reading me my fortune, I guess, when I was in my 20s. And she's like, oh, you're not going to have any kids. And I was like, oh. And I remember being like, okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I thought, I don't know. Like when I was in college, I used to dream about like having 5 kids and like, we'd just live in a van and travel the world. And then I became an actor. I feel like kind of like being free. And then when I was married for a while and I kind of thought, oh God, I don't want to have a kid with this person. Like the idea of having a kid with that person, I just thought no. And then I talked to the medium when I was like in my early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was like, okay. And then when I was 34, I just started feeling like, oh, I really want to have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I met this guy on a movie set whose bear was in the movie.
Uh-huh.
And at the time he had a girlfriend, I had a boyfriend. Then like a year later, we like found each other on he listened to my MySpace music, was like, you guys should come play out here. I happen to be doing another movie in Montana.
Uh-huh.
So I met up with him and I don't know, we immediately got engaged.
Yes. So wait, was he the trainer of the bear?
He's the bear trainer. Yeah.
That's so cool. How do you get into that kind of a job?
Well, he was like, so he was from Montana. He was like this hot bear guy. Anyway,
I think I did see pictures of you guys online when I was researching.
Yeah, we got married. The bear was at the wedding. Yeah.
The bear was at the wedding.
Yeah, if you look up Missi Pyle bear wedding or just
get out. All right, I'm looking it up right now while you're talking.
Yeah, you'll see pictures of me with the bear and my ex-husband who's always wore a hat.
Amazing. Okay, I found it.
That's with and my friend Christine was like, I feel like you can't have a bear as the best man in a wedding because like no one's going to be looking at you on your wedding day.
Wait, there's a headline that says couple marry with a bear as the best man.
Yeah, that's what we did. And I feel like anyone out there is thinking about marrying a man with a bear, if he tells you the bear has to be the best man, you should just think about that.
Red flag.
You don't have a human best man friend. It has to be a bear. Just think about that and then the future of your relationship.
Oh my God. Incredible. Okay.
So then I went, we got pregnant kind of right away. Like first time I tried and I was like pregnant and I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. And I remember being on the phone with my friend. I bought a geodome in the woods with him in Montana. I don't know how I thought I was going to pay for it because I'm an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you. And I moved to Montana to like become, I didn't really think about it. I just was like, this is what we're doing. He had something about him. Like he told me he had a cave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
kind of hot.
He and his dad had stored all of this like food and cans. And he'd hunt. I mean, he was a hunter. He had short twitch. He could like run and jump. Anyway, I just thought like this guy, let's mate and have children. I then did not think past it. And then, like I was also in a band. I was flying back and forth and I flew back and forth to my friend Shawnee's cousin's band called Smith and Pyle. And we were having this like rehearsal and I remember I was shooting a movie also. So I'd come back to LA to shoot this movie and do some band stuff while I was pregnant. And I was doing a lot of prosthetics. So I was doing all of this like spraying around my face and everything but I don't think I even knew I was pregnant at that point. I was about 2 months pregnant with my band member who she had 2 kids too. And and I was pregnant. I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it's happening. And I started bleeding.
Mm.
And I was like, fuck. And I remember, so she took me to the emergency room and I was like, oh God. And I saw the heartbeat
Oh,
on the ultrasound.
okay.
And I was just like, oh my God. But I was still bleeding. And it was like, well, maybe this will be okay. But then I think the heart rate was too slow. I can't remember. And then I miscarried.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know. I'm sorry too. It was
Mhm.
fucking awful. And I remember being like, and I'd been so good too. Like I'd stopped to just doing, I mean, because I was like, I've always been like a drinker, you know, like
Sure.
a casual, seems a little more than, and we had and then after that was over, and I remember like my partner and I just were kind of like, holy shit, you know, because we were so excited. As you get, you're just so fucking excited. And then
Right.
it's like, okay. And then you talk to the doctor and it's like, well, you need to wait a month to try. I mean, you know, it's just fucking awful.
Yeah. It's, of
So, and
course.
we went to like Zion Park while I was miscarrying. And I think I saw Johnny Depp rocking on a porch somewhere on one of the places. Anyway,
As one does.
as one does when you go through Zion Park.
Sure.
Maybe that's another trip. And I remember like taking some of the, you know, the blood and putting it on a rock and just being like, we called it Ziggy Zygo, you know, and you were just like so excited.
Oh.
I can't even believe it. I'm getting so emotional, of course.
Yes.
It's still fucking there, right? So then
Oh, yeah.
for 2 years I tried. And then I was taking, what's the thing you take? Everyone takes, and you just want to tear your hair out and rip everyone's face.
Clomid?
Clomid. Yeah, I was taking Clomid. I wasn't getting pregnant. And in the so I had 2 experiences. I threw a baby shower for 3 pregnant friends.
Oh
with
my
like
gosh.
2 other friends.
So
And-
after the miscarriage?
Yes. And this is while I'm, you know, after the first miscarriage. And I remember just being like, I remember like going into the bathroom and just crying and then coming back out and just being like, yay, let's count the toilet paper sheets or whatever.
At the shower. I've done that exact thing too.
Yeah. And then I had another. So then 2 years later, and then I finally was like, fuck this. I just wasn't getting pregnant. So I was 33 or 4. I think I was 34 when I got pregnant the first time. And then I got pregnant again. Like I remember I had my friends over, Brooke, and I had this ladies poker group. And I was like, I'm fucking done. Fuck it. I am not doing this again. I was just like, fuck it. I'm not doing it again. And by the way, so I bought that. I think I'd rented the Geodome for the first pregnancy. I wasn't bought it yet.
Uh-huh.
But I did end up buying it.
Are you still married to Casey at this point?
Still married to Casey, the bear man.
Okay.
And we had gone, like, I mean, I was the boom operator for like a couple years on all these trips. We'd take crazy trips, like, because he had a show on Nat Geo Wild too.
Right.
Like, he and his bear.
Okay.
Since passed. But like he grazed that bear from birth. Like,
wow.
How does he get into it? Like he went into handle animal husbandry. I'm answering a question from a long time ago.
That's okay.
But he worked at this like drive-through bear park in Wyoming, and they would, you know, people could come and feed a cub and you know, drive through and see the bears, and then they started euthanizing the cubs because they didn't have anywhere for them to live, and so he ended up just taking one of the cubs, across the border, and like they opened this bear park called the Montana Grizzly Encounter, I think, and then they got some other bears from bad situations. Like there were 2 bears that somebody had bought. This is fucking unbelievable. In Texas, I think you can have like wild animals.
Okay.
I think this was Texas. So they did 2 bears. It was like Sheena and Christy, and somebody had bought them to start a circus. And they never did. So they lived in these like, you know, I want to say like 6x8 crates for like 20 years. And their friends would come out and like give them beer.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So then they rescued them and they started this place. It was really nice. He was just he was a fellow. We were not a good match, but
okay. It's so interesting though.
What's that?
It's so interesting that he did that though. It's okay. So you're immersed in this world.
Yeah. And we would like take, I mean, so, you know, and every month, as you know, you're just like desperate.
Yeah.
To get pregnant. And for 2 years. So all this is happening. I'm going to, you know, Alaska, watching bears, holding the boom, hiking through, you know, whatever, laying in a tent, sleeping in tents and putting baby powder in my hair to, you know, whatever.
With the first miscarriage, Missy, did you have to have a DNC or did it?
No, I did it. I just let it. I did.
Yeah, that's how mine worked.
I never got past 2 months necessarily. So then I got pregnant the second time.
Okay.
Right after I was like, fuck it, you know, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. And then I immediately got pregnant. I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And this time, I didn't even know that I needed to see anybody. I didn't know I needed to see us. That's what's also so sucky is like, if you have one miscarriage and then you can go to the greatest doctor there is, which I met, 6 years later.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what's happening, you think like, oh, it'll be fine.
Right.
I was in Montana for my second and third pregnancies
Mm-hmm.
and seeing doctors who were like, well, come back and see us at 3 months.
Right.
And I was like, but I had a miscarriage. Is there anything I can do? Not now. Not now. Not while you're. And so then I started bleeding with that one at 6 weeks.
Oh.
And at that point, I think I was moving to Montana. Like we were renting the house, and then I sold my house and I moved. And I moved, like he was there. And I remember him being like, he was just, well, it's like, it's really hard. I felt like, and I don't know, but it felt like he was just like, he blamed it on me.
Uh-huh.
That's how I felt. I mean, I felt a lot of shame, and I just was like, and so then I went to go see a fertility doctor in Montana.
Okay.
We moved to Montana, and I just was like, why am I doing this in Montana? I live in, I could go to LA. I don't
Right. What did they tell you when you went to the doctor in Montana?
They did all that. They did the tests. They did the balloon test. It looked like everything was fine. Looked like my ovaries were fine. I had a decent number of eggs, even though at this point I'm like 37, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody really could tell me why. I'm like a healthy as a horse person.
Mm-hmm. And you never had any like issues with your cycle or like heavy periods?
Well, no, but and I can get to that because I kind of know. I kind of know now.
Okay.
What happened? But then I got pregnant again really soon after, like I want to say 3 or 4 months after that.
Okay. So third pregnancy now.
Third pregnancy with Casey. And we also had at this point, we're not doing well
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at all. And he even said, I'm not even going to get excited.
Mm.
And I was like, oh man, this is not, and I'd even moved myself to Montana, like right after I miscarried. I remember I couldn't get out of bed at that point. Like I've always been, a borderline depressed person, but I never had any trouble getting out. I mean, I know how to like strap my boots up.
Yeah.
And the second pregnancy, when I just, my hormones went, and I was like calling my gynecologist, like, can you help me? I just was like a fucking wreck.
Yeah, it is. It's so emotional. And especially if you have depression underlying, this just exacerbates it so many times.
My partner was like, fuck you. I don't even, he was so mad. I had like an emotional affair with somebody else and he knew about it. And it was just, and that was, but in between the first and the second and third pregnancies.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just not doing that well.
Yeah.
And I moved myself to Montana. Like I literally packed up myself. My stepmom came out, my best friend, and we packed up my U-Haul and I drove it to Montana with my 2 dogs. And I remember this is just a side story because it's so crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm driving this U-Haul, and they're really the shitty. Like if you think U-Hauls is the shittier movie company, it's like the Lee jeans of
the Lee versus Levi's. You mean?
Yeah,
it's like the Betamax versus VHS.
Thank you. Yes, yes, it is. Like the store brand, the Kroger brand versus I don't know, Kraft.
Yes,
because Kraft is great.
Love Kraft.
Sponsored by Kraft. Or organic, I guess you would be better. But and I remember it was the middle of the night. I stopped at this gas station, and I was trying to get to one of these cities in Idaho, or was that Idaho or Utah? I can't remember. Mm-hmm. And I had 2 dogs, and I would like pull over to the side of the street and like pee off of the truck so I didn't have to go in. I'd have to. One of my dogs couldn't walk, so I'd have to put him down on the ground, pee. I mean, and I get to this gas station. It's the middle of the night, and there's a guy inside, and it's really bright lights inside. Like it looks like almost like a mirage. Like if I almost am, like it's all white light, and it's very high and white, and there's not a single other car. And I'm trying to park this U-Haul, and I'm about to hit that pole that keeps you from blowing up the gas.
The gas tanks. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I have to do maneuver the thing 4 times, and I come inside. And I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Trying to make it, I'm just an actor. Like, hi, bro. He's like, what? And I was like, I almost hit that pole. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm moving to Montana. Mm-hmm. And he goes, why? Literally, this is literally, and I said, oh, I just got married. I'm moving to Montana. You know, my husband's there. And I'm telling him, like, he does wildlife filming. And he's like, well, where's your husband? Oh, and I said, oh, no, he's filming and he couldn't do it, but you know, I'm going to meet him there. And he goes, if you're doing things alone now, that's always going to be that way.
Oh,
It's not going to change. It's always going to be that way. And I literally just looked at him like, what the fuck? I mean, he didn't have like and I turned around and he might as well have just disappeared. It was just crazy.
Whoa. It's like the universe telling you something.
Yes. As if he probably like left and was like, I have no recollection of that conversation.
Right. Was he really there? Or was that like in your imagination?
I don't even know. It was so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went there and then I went to we drove to a fertility doctor. And I think before I got pregnant the third time, I don't know. I can't even remember, but I did all the tests. Everything was fine. I had a good egg count.
Mm-hmm.
His sperm was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could really figure out like what was going on. And then I miscarried for the third time.
Oh.
And then our relationship kind of crumbled. And I was like, this is again, don't move to Montana. I was like $35,000 in debt. Like at that point, I had not really worked that much as an actor. So I kind of, and he's living in the Geodome.
Uh-huh.
That I own completely outright on my own. I mean, you know, I just don't know what I was thinking. I just was like, must have babies with this person. And I moved back to LA. My sister came and moved in with me. And I just, I was horny and slutty and I hope my mother won't listen to this. And then I decided like, I really fucking just want to have a kid. I just want to have a kid. I think now I'm 39. At 40, I did a round of IVF and I froze some eggs.
Okay. So when did you decide to make that decision? Was it hard to make, or did you have friends who had like done that as well?
My friend Hillary had done it and a couple other people had done it that I knew. And I just was like, I really want to have a kid. And so I froze. I don't know. A friend of mine told me about this one doctor, and he showed. I don't know if you've ever seen the fertility doctors will show you the test where you got like he's got a big old jar. Imagine they're like red lifesavers and yellow lifesavers. Okay. And he's like the red lifesavers are your good eggs and the yellows are your bad. And
right.
God, you got like 35 red ones and 4 yellow ones, and then or 25, and then at 30, it's like you got maybe 20 yellows and whatever. And then by the end, it's like by 40, you got like 4 or 3 reds, and 20 yellows.
Yeah, totally.
And so he showed me like how the chances of having what a good egg were, but I did it anyway. I didn't have a partner. I still really wanted a partner to do it with. And then I met a guy when I was like 41 who I really liked. And I was like, listen, I really want to have a kid. And I think I told him I loved him first, which, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I liked him. He was like a guy he was solid. He had some money. Like I never dated anybody who actually had money.
Uh-huh.
Then the last person, like I'd paid for everything. Like he was proud of not having a credit card.
Right. So, it sounds like everything you do, you're just really passionate about it. You kind of dive in. Right. I mean, I don't know. Yes, I'm a little crazy, but yes, I still have that, like, that I still am a hopeless romantic. Yeah. Okay.
So then, I just said to him, like, listen, if I get a series, because series money is like, it's not fuck you money, but it's like fuck you money.
Yeah.
Amazing money if you can get it. Like it really is life-changing money for an actor. And a lot of times I end up getting a series.
Uh-huh. Which one was it?
It was on it was on a network called TV Land. And it was with Jamie Presley.
Uh-huh.
And the mom from Arrested Development, a couple of very funny people. And we did this show and I played Jamie Presley's best friend. She literally was like, I want Missi Pyle. I mean, she really got me this job and I really appreciated it. It was really good money. And
I've interviewed her before. She's a trip. Yeah.
Yeah. So the minute I got that series, I said to my boyfriend, I said, listen, I got to do this. I got to try IVF. I was like, if I get money, I'm going to try it, but like, I'm going to do it not as a egg retrieval, but as I'm going to do it. You know? And he just wasn't ready. And I mean, of course I get that. Like we were about to get together a year and he's like, but if you want to do it, like I'll be still your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so I like got this, like, I was like, what? Okay. And I went and got like a sperm donor. I looked through all the files and I found this like guy who was Brazilian and he was a soccer player. And I just thought, oh my God, how cool would it be to have like, you know, it's just funny. It's like, who should I choose to make a baby? I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the one that I chose. And I went and I did it. And I was going to genetically test it. And I was at work at the time when it happened. And I did it and then the guy I was dating, I just felt like, I just said, listen, I mean, I feel like I'm doing this alone. It's like our relationship. It's like the head's chopped off of our relationship. We just can't do this. We broke up. So then I did it by myself. And I've had 3 miscarriages. But I still, again, was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So I told everyone in the makeup and hair, I mean, like everybody knew what I was doing. I'd had that. I did, like Jamie's given me shots in the, you know, in my ass and whatever. Right. My sister has given me shots. Everybody's giving me shots and I go for the retrieval and then they do the.
How was the stim cycle for you? Like the meds and stuff? Did you respond okay? Like, did you feel crazy at all, or like?
I felt insane. I mean, I felt crazy.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I felt crazy, but I was excited, and that like took me over the top. Mm-hmm. And I had a big support system at the time of people being like, yay, 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 and excited about being on the journey. And and this is what I forgot to say, like. The woman I chose is a doctor named Dr. Kelly Back in LA. Mm-hmm. And my friend who has Crohn's had her child through Kelly Beck. And she told me, she was like, this is the best doctor I've ever, I met. She had interviewed everybody and was like, she's incredible. My friend had a baby with a surrogate. And I think they put in a bunch of embryos too. And one came out, she got her son for it. And so I went to her so I went to see her and she's like, so tell me what your story is, of course. So now I'm 42, right? Or 41. Okay. No, I think it's 41 or 40. I can't remember, 41. Mm-hmm. And she's telling me, tell me your story. And I said, oh, so, you know, I had the 3 miscarriages and everything seemed to be fine. And she was like, and then I told her, she's like, what's your medical history? I said, well, when I was 18, I had peritonitis, which I told everyone. She's like, peritonitis? It's an inflammation of the peritoneum, which is the lining around your organs.
Wow.
And I had a surgery in it, you know, and I have a big scar on my stomach. And she said, oh, you know, you would probably still have inflammation around your uterus. And like, if we would give you, that could be why you had your miscarriages. Whoa. And we could give you a round of antibiotics before you try to get pregnant. And that would help that. And I just looked at her. And like a tear went down I was like, are you fucking telling me that if I took antibiotics before I tried to get pregnant, that's all that could have been? Like, we need to scrape your uterus and spend $10,000. You know, I could go to CVS and get, you know, off brand $99
totally.
And I would have a family of children.
Oh my God. So that must have been like frustrating / a relief that at least you had like a plan or like some sort of diagnosis.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yes, but still, you know, then we did the egg retrieval, and of course, like she hadn't been on vacation in 4 years, and she had to be on vacation for my egg retrieval. And I wonder if we cooked him a second too long. I don't know. I don't even think so. But I had all of these healthy, like all these embryos growing. I had like 6.
Okay.
And when they took him out, like it was big for someone who was like 41 or 42.
Yeah, that's huge.
Sure. And then I think we ended up. There were 8 that were still growing, which was amazing. And then like 6 by the time they mixed with my Brazilian soccer player. Mm-hmm. And they made all these embryos, you know, and they were growing really well. And then when they got to the point to genetically test them, I remember I was at work and I was like, oh my God, there are calls coming. I mean, it just sounded like there were so many that there had to be one that was good. Mm-hmm. And I went outside to take the phone call, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the call. Like as if I'd never had a miscarriage before.
Right.
leaving, and it's like the hair and makeup trailers where you get ready, just for anybody who's not, and there might be one person listening who's not been in a hair and makeup trailer, but we go and get hair and makeup done before you go and film. So I leave the trailer, I go outside to the parking lot, and it's the doctor. She's like, "Hi, Misty, it's Dr. Beck," and she's like, "I'm so sorry, none of the embryos are viable."
Oh my God.
At Capella University, you're in control of your education. With the game-changing FlexPath format, you can set your own deadlines and move at your own pace. The faster you move, the more you save. Visit capella.edu to learn more.
Hey, let's hear that new Turkey Hill jingle.
79 cents is all you pay for Turkey Hill sodas every day.
Hey, you forgot applicable tax.
For a limited time, get a small, medium, or large fountain soda for just 79 cents at Turkey Hill. Excludes extra large and all frozen drinks.
Plus applicable tax.
I'm so sorry. Like, and then they sent me the papers. Like, this one had, the wrong. They were all genetic. Look, there was one that was close to being okay, but it still was genetically flawed. Like, everyone was flawed.
Yeah. Oh,
and
so
I just
sorry.
stood out there and was like, I can't even go back in there. I was like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
And the person I haven't told you about this is my best friend, Christine, who like helped me move to Montana and was like, when my ex-husband was like, where the fuck are you? Why am I packing up your fucking wife and taking her to fucking Montana? Where the fuck are And I came home and, I couldn't go back in the trailer, and Jamie came out and I was like, just tell them. And then I just was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't know what to do. And my friend Christine and my friend Wendy Molyneux, who's a writer, and she's been on Bob's Burgers forever. She has a child. She's 2 adopted. And then she has another child that she couldn't get pregnant forever. But she told me about an adoption lawyer named this guy named Mark Goldman. And she's like, yeah, I met him. He was amazing. And I said to Christine, I was just like, I don't know what I can do. I don't think I can do IVF again. I don't think I can do this again. She's like, well, let's go get you a fucking baby. Let's go to adoption lawyer. So she went with me. Whoa.
So how soon after you've got the call did you start the adoption process?
I went to see him pretty quickly after. Because this is now, I was 34 when I started. Now I'm 41 or almost, I think I'm 41 at that point, maybe 42. And I went to go see him, and he was like, I cried through the whole meeting and was just like, he's like, with the single woman, it could be anywhere from, it's usually like, it's like 9 months for a heterosexual couple. And then it's like 18 months for a single woman or more, but we have a 99% adoption rate. So I was like, okay. And he told me all the stories. Like, when a woman comes to us, they come at 6 months and they're pretty sure what they want to do. And then we ask them questions like, hey, because everybody wants a baby. There's people who want babies that have fetal alcohol. There's babies everyone's okay. There's so many people out there who want babies like this. So they were saying that they're pretty honest about where they are and what they've done. Like, have you been drinking? Have you been smoking? So I made a profile. I gave him about $20,000 as a down payment. It was like private adoption, and I made a brochure. I used an ad agency, Our Chosen Child, and I made a brochure about me, and they have all these people online. I just said, because I'm an actor, I don't really want to be online just yet. Let's just try sending a box out with my brochure. So I made my brochure and of course, I was sending all these pictures. If you want, teeny tiny joint in my hand.
Oh my God.
One of the pictures, it was just like, I didn't even notice until later. Like, after I would already adopted my daughter, it's like, is that a joint? Anyway.
Get out. It made it into the brochure.
It made it into my adoption brochure.
That is classic. So tell me this, what were the, like in terms of parameters of what you were looking for in terms of a baby? Did you have to fill out?
So I because I'm single, I kind of was like, I don't know how well I would do with a special needs child.
Okay, fair.
And I'm still having to work, But I do think at some point in my, if I'm a little older, I would love to maybe work with some special needs kids, because I've been working with this woman right now on this thing called Hand in Hand Parenting with a woman named Abigail Wald. She's rocking my world about parenting. I do have a daughter, but I said that I wanted, you do a lot of trainings, and I went through the racial, if you got a child who's a different race than you or biracial. And I watched the videos and read a book and decided that I felt like I would like any child ultimately, but I think it might be a good idea for me to have a child that's at least half Caucasian, because I'm Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we could share that bit of our
like racial identity.
Racial, thank you. And then I said, but half of anything else. And, but you have to fill out specifically, like, and somehow I had filled out like 2/3 Pacific Islander. I don't even know what, there's so much forms to fill out, but I never said that I wanted a Caucasian baby. So so then they sent out my profile and no one was responding. I was second choice the second month. And I just looked, is anyone looking at my profile? Like, how many people are looking? And she said, well, it would help if you wanted an all Caucasian baby.
Oh.
And I said, because she said most private adoptions are Caucasian in the U.S.
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, I do want to. I meant to say like full or half, up to half. That was just kind of my thought. That's where I was at. And she said, oh, okay. And then within a month, I got selected by a birth mother. And what I didn't tell you was happening at the same time was like, once I started this, I actually met this guy named Josh. Like I decided, fuck it, I'm not dating anybody, but I do like dating. Like I'm not going to get in a relationship, but I like kind of, I'm a person who likes to date people.
Sure.
I went on
harm in that.
Right. I went on a dating list. I met this guy named Josh. His profile made me giggle. He was it was so weird and funny. And so we started dating and I just said to him, by the way, I'm adopting a baby by myself. And he was like, I'll make a baby with you. And I was like, yes, that sounds good. Good luck. Good luck. And then we start dating. And of course, I'm just throwing caution to the wind. And then I get fucking pregnant with him again. So I'm now pregnancy number 4.
Oh, wow.
And at this point, I'm 42. And I call Dr. Kelly back and I'm like, I'm pregnant. And she's like, oh my God, let's get you in and get your levels checked. But my profile is live to adopt. So I'm like, well, okay. So it's Monday of this week. And I say, if by Friday my levels are good, I will call the adoption agency and say, just put my profile on ice because I'm pregnant. I don't, we'll just see what happens. So I go Monday, we check my levels. They're okay. I go Wednesday and they're a little bit low. And so Friday I get my levels checked. And I take my old dog, Ellie, who can barely walk, on a hike. And I just am like, I'm just going to go on a hike with Ellie. And I have no cell service, but I'm just going to go and whatever happens, it's going to be okay. And so I go on this hike and it's so funny. Oh, how you get all of a sudden you get emotional.
It's PTSD.
Right. So I'm coming back from this hike and Ellie's walking really slow because she jumped off a cliff. By the Hollywood sign, 10 years before, and we had to literally rebuild her legs.
Oh
so
my gosh!
She has fused bones, so she's walking really slow. And I'm like, just if you will go a little faster, because we don't have any cell service. And then how the doctors are. If you don't, when they call you, if you don't get them, they don't tell you anything, and then you have to wait to the end of the day.
Right? Yes.
And it's so hard to get in touch with. So I'm like, come on, Ellie, come on, and I get to the car and I'm just speeding out of the thing to try to get cell service. And I'm like, oh fuck, she's going to call. And I get out of cell service and I see bing, voicemail and it's a blocked number. And I'm like, oh fuck, I missed her. So I go to the phone and I say, play it. And I've got the message now. You want me to play it for you?
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I think it's still here.
Yes, for sure.
This is the message I get from the doctor. I think is the doctor. Here we go. Let me see if you can hear. Let's put on speaker. Ready? Tell me if you can hear this.
It's Catherine from Adoptable. I have really good news. One of my birth mothers has chosen you. I would love to give you all the information. So if you could please give me a call, that would be great. Office is 818-789-3477. Thanks.
Oh my God. So what did you think?
I literally almost crashed the car. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I'm waiting for the doctor. And so I pull over and I call my friend Christine. I'm like, holy shit. I just got selected by a birth mother. And I'm still waiting on the news from the doctor. And of course, Josh, knows that we're pregnant and, he's excited. And I'm just like, oh, please don't be excited.
Right.
And then I'm sitting up on the side of the road, just shaking. And then my phone rings and it's a blocked number. I'm like, this is the doctor. And so I I'll call you back. and it's like, hi, Missy, it's Dr. Kelly Beck. I'm like, hi. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Your pregnancy is not viable. The levels have dropped. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, well, I obviously can't say 100%. But I mean, it's not viable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm shaking and my body is shaking. And I'm like, well, cause I just like literally seconds ago got called to say that a birth mother had selected me.
Oh my God.
And so
what a fucking day.
Fucking believe it. So I was like, oh my God. And so then I had to go home, and it was the long weekend of Memorial Day. And I had to go home and tell Josh, so our pregnancy is not viable, but I was selected by myself to be, by a birth mother today. And I was like, and I have over the weekend to think about it. So like, what do you want to do? Like, I would be, if you're up for it, like I could let this one go and we could try a round of IVF. Like I would do that if you want to. But, and I don't know that I even meant that, but.
Wait, had you used IVF with Josh, or you'd gotten pregnant?
No. We just got pregnant.
Got it. Okay.
I didn't have a problem getting pregnant.
Right. Just staying pregnant. That was my problem too.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that to him, and he was like, listen, you've been doing, no way. Like, no way. You've been doing this forever. And I was like, and then it was like, our relationship was like had never meant to be a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of a sudden it was just like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to do this on my own. And I know we weren't living together or anything, but, and it was just like, he didn't know how he was going to feel. And we just were like, we broke up and then we didn't break up. And then I don't know. And then my mom and I went out to meet the birth mother, and she was like a lovely young girl in Kansas, and she was, just struggling with her own family. And so was lovely. And of course we had that phone call where it was like, I remember, I think I was doing I might've been on like jury duty, and I was like, I'm calling her on the phone. They told me to get like a flip phone, a burner phone,
a burner,
which I then just discarded and used my own phone. I was like, come on, let's not be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And she was lovely. And I was just like, hi, I would love to do this with you. And then that was in May. And then by September, like my mom came out with me to the adoption. And I mean, we went, and I picked her up the morning of, like, I did my hair.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I was like, I don't know what to do. And I picked her up, and she was like, I remember her looking at me, because I picked her up at 4 a.m. And she's like, and then she got in the car, and I was like, shaking a little bit. And she was like, don't be nervous. I'm gonna give you this baby. And I'm like, well, I'm nervous. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't bring any a change of underwear. Anything. It didn't even occur to me that I would need to spend the night or anything. Ended up being like a C-section. What I couldn't believe was, so she's in the hospital. I'm there. My mom's there. And my mom's, a really strong Christian. And so my mom is just like, so Jesus, and the girl loves it. And I'm just like, go for it, you two.
Yeah.
My mom is lovely. Like, she's actually one of those, just a lovely, faithful person. And then all of a sudden, like the doctor, and the doctors just keep coming in. This is her third child, my birth mother. And so they keep coming in and just jamming their hands in her vagina. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Just everyone's jamming their hands in her vagina.
Right. So wait, is this the first time you had met her in person, but you talked on the phone?
No, we met. I'm so sorry. We actually met. I came out in May and met I was doing a charity thing nearby, and I ended up driving down and meeting her, and like taking her shopping and meeting her partner that was not the father of this baby.
Okay.
And
so you kind of had fostered like a relationship with her as she was going along.
Yeah. And I would send her stuff, and like, so we had a relationship, but it was still obviously like, it's still like what it is. Like, it's like, I want your baby. Do you want to give it to me? If you want to give it to me, I would love to take it, but I know you can change your mind. So I'm here to take it if you want to.
Right.
And so she ended up having to have a C-section because Zoe's hand was kind of down in the birth canal. We were afraid it would break her arm. So then we immediately go into surgery. Like in 2 seconds, it's like, boom, let's get her in. And I'm sitting with her head, my birth mother's head, like, and there's a sheet, not her severed, and I'm just holding her and brushing her hair, like, and hoping I don't have bad breath. And, and she's just crying a little bit and scared. And I'm like, I've got you. And then all of a sudden we hear, wah! And I'm just like, what the fuck? And she's like, and I'm just like, oh my God. And she's like, and I'm like, they're like, okay, okay, Misty, here's your daughter. And I look at her and I say, is this okay? Are you okay with me taking her? And she said, yeah, take her. I don't know. I want to say that she was like, God, she's yours. I don't know. But she was like, yes, go.
Mm-hmm.
And I go over and I pick her. They hand her to me, and I am a fucking mess, just sobbing, going, and they're like, there's your baby. They take the birth mother off, and I am holding this baby, sobbing, and go in there. And then this is a tiny, tiny hospital in Kansas. They have never done an adoption. I'm kind of like, I'm not a celebrity, but I'm a Kansas.
You've had a huge acting career, steady. Yeah.
Right. You know, so they're literally just like, everyone is, and then they're like, do you want to give her first bath, put her first diaper on, give her first bottle? I do all of this stuff. And she's just, and I'm like holding this tiny 5-pound baby.
Oh my God.
And then for 2 hours, I'm just staring at like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's like 2 nights of like just to stay because we have to wait till the drugs wear off so that she can make the decisions. And I have like they have like a couple's romantic dinner that I have with her and my mom, where there's like flowers and steak. And I mean, it's hilarious.
Did you ever think, Missy, that she might change her mind? Because I know with adoption, like you said, there's obviously that, depending what state you're in, it's different lengths, but there's that period of time where they can change their mind.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so that happened. We had to wait. That was the first night. And then the next day, I think we waited for the drugs to wear off. I don't know if we did 1 or 2 nights, but then there was a time when the social worker came.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were with the baby, and then also Zoe, they just gave me the baby at night. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they gave me a room. And I was like, I have this baby in a room. I mean,
right.
No underwear, no pants. I'm just in my jeans. I mean, I'm wearing whatever, but like no toothbrush, nothing.
Right.
And my mom went back to the hotel and I was like, bring me some underwear and a toothbrush, please. And then, I'm like, can I hold her? Like, and then she's laying next to me, and I remember, I was like, because I kind of want to hold her. And she's like, the nurse looked at me and she goes, mothers have been holding their babies since the beginning of time to go to sleep. And then she walked away. She didn't say like whether or not I could, but like I held her for, a long time. I fell asleep, I put her in the thing, took her out, but and then the next day, I think, or maybe the next, the social worker came and they took her away and I had the baby with my mom and it was like 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, oh my God, Mom. And my mom's of course praying just at all the angels in heaven are coming together around this shedding the light of whatever. And it's beautiful. And I'm just like, I love you. Thank you. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Why is this taking so long? And then they came in there like, it's done. Maybe it was 4. It was so long. And she was like, oh my God, she had to read every single page to me.
Right.
Like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah. And then it was time to leave and her boyfriend came, picked her up and I was like, okay, bye. And then like the next day we met back at the hospital, or 3 to 4 days later, we met back for the first visit. And then we went out to dinner and then they drove away and,
oh my God.
I had to wait on the cross state line until the paperwork was finished so we could take her across state lines and we took her home. And, it's been incredible. And like her dad.
When was this? When was she born?
She was born on September 17th, 2015.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. So what did it feel like after everything that you had been through? Finally, the paperwork signed, you're able to cross state lines. This is your daughter. What did that feel like for you?
I mean, it's funny because like, I just was like, I would sit in my car and drive and look in the back seat in the mirror and be like, hi, I know you're coming someday. Like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did that forever. Like, I would just be like, I'm waiting for you. And I don't know. I just felt like, I was like, oh, you're here. You're finally here. And it's been so fucking hard and so fucking wonderful. Oh my God.
Totally. Is it like an open adoption where you will maintain a relationship? Do you have something where you have to see her?
No, there's nothing. It's as open or as open as you want it to be.
Okay.
It's open. It is open.
I would love to wrap up with just kind of, if you had like anything that you kind of learned from this experience, like if you could talk to your younger self, like before you went down this road,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar. Like, I think if you're over the age of, I think it's 30, like I started menstruating when I was fucking 11.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the quality of our eggs just diminishes. And like, I think you just need to be, to know, have information. If you're starting later, you might want to go to a fertility doctor if you can. I don't know. But I also feel like the one thing I'd say to anybody out there who's like in that place, in the fucking, purgatory, the dead land, like
perfect description.
Fucking awful. It's so fucking awful. But the light on the other side, there are a million ways to do this. And there's so many kids out there, man, that need, like, I'm probably going to adopt another kid, maybe an older one. I'm a little scared of that because it's an attachment. But at some point.
Wow.
I would just say to, and also to anybody, like, adopting this kid is fucking fantastic. And my body, I never had to, I mean, I didn't want to punch a pregnant woman, but I did want to.
I did.
Yeah. I would have loved to be, in a hospital bed with someone shoving their hands in my vagina.
Totally.
I would have loved it. And I'm 48 now. And I'm like, you cannot maybe you're not going to make, I'm just like, oh, I'm about to ovulate. Who's around?
Right.
What are you doing? Shut up.
Right.
So, but I would just say, like, just don't lose hope. And if you feel like maybe I should talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. And if you've just had a miscarriage, like, and you're in that dead zone, yeah, it fucking sucks. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. And Missi, thank you again for taking the time. And I also want to give a shout out to my friend Amy, who introduced us. So thanks, Amy. Guys, if you are looking for extra support and you want to find people who get it, and you need community, and you need content and resources and information and amazing events, definitely check out the business I co-founded called Fertility Rally. It is at fertilityrally.com. Our membership goes on sale again the first week of every month. So coming up on June 1st, we'll be open again. We are offering a military discount from now on as well, which is really cool. And we would love to have you become a part of our family. There's a lot of women going through a lot of different things, and we are all there to lift each other up. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. You can DM, you can email me, however you want to get a hold of me. But just know that no matter what, you are not alone, and we are here to help you. So check it out. Also, if you don't mind taking 2 seconds to rate and review this podcast, it really helps us get noticed. So I really appreciate that as well. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys next time.
At Capella University, education is as smart as the world around us. With the FlexPath format, you can take classes at your own pace, set your own deadlines, and even leverage your previous experience to move faster. Now that's smart. Learn more at capella.edu.
Discover the new 3-Step Pro Partial Range, specifically designed to clean your partials and remaining teeth in 3 simple steps. Clean your partial, strengthen your natural teeth, protect your whole mouth. Stand up to further tooth loss with Polident Pro Partial. Available at Walmart.